Do you have someone putting the heat on you because they stick their nose into your business all the time? Maybe they mean well. How's that ward you had? What? Well, I heard you talking the other day, and I'm just checking on you. I don't know. The meddler, right? The people that they want to be up in your business, and maybe they mean well, maybe they don't. Maybe they're just looking for information. I don't know. But they're annoying, right? Maybe. And if you don't think so, maybe you're the one. I worry. Maybe I'm the one. Dr. John Braccio is with us as always. drjohnb.com on the web. Regional Psychological Services with our Hey, What's Up, Doc segment. Doc Braccio, welcome. It's good to have you back, buddy.
Well, listen, good chatting with you, my friend. And the meddler, there are few persons more annoying that we must deal with on a regular basis in life than the meddler. These are the persons who they like to get in the middle of things and stir things up and often cause problems. They do not know their place and are always butting their noses into the lives and affairs of other persons. We all know them. And even if well-intentioned, and I might add, they usually are not, they are annoying and intrude in our lives. At this particular time, these persons often are called Karens. Traditionally, they were known as busybodies, okay? By either name, it doesn't matter the name. They love to get into the affairs of other persons. Sometimes they're easy to identify. It's a family member who wants to tell you how to live your life, maybe how to raise your children, or a neighbor who is constantly checking out what other neighbors are doing. Be aware, if they tell you what other persons or family members are doing, well, they're going to be talking about you. And for intrigue purposes, they often add things that are not true to embellish their stories to hurt the reputation of others. Another typical meddler is the person who gives unwanted advice. We all run into these people, and they oftentimes try to place themselves in the middle of things when they're not wanted, needed, or even remotely involved. The end result is often the situation they are meddling in is far worse after their intervention. Things to do to just shut down the meddler would include the following. And I might add, Mike, it is amazing how many meddlers there are. In my work, I'm talking to people that are dealing with people in the middle of their lives or people that want to be. Well, some things to do, you've got to set boundaries, clear boundaries. And they really need to know what's acceptable and not acceptable. Ignoring them is another one. Try not to even get involved in conversations. Change the topic when you're talking to them. Like if someone said you hear about Chucky having a big fight with Judy and they were arguing and everything, you don't want to get involved in that. You change the topic. Well, it's going to be a nice day, not quite 70 degrees today, but it's going to be getting warmer. Okay, well, that's what you do, and then control what you tell them. This is another important thing because when you tell the gossip, when you tell the meddler, when you tell them things, they use it and it'll grow as soon as you say something. If you complain, by the way, they're going to be, raising the annual fee here at the condo association. If you hear that, all of a sudden you start reacting and saying things before you know it. They'll be saying, "How did you hear that? That Mike is out there complaining now and telling everybody about this stuff." All of a sudden, you have become the person in the middle. So you have to be honest with them also and tell them how the meddling offends you, even makes you angry. And then, above all, if they really get to the point, and there are people like this, often family, often neighbors, just often people we encounter, coworkers, you have to warn them they're toxic to you. And if their behaviors continue, you're going to need to end any communication with them, except what may be required in family and work-related activities. You hope it doesn't get to that point, but really, meddlers are really problematic people, and we really have to know how to protect ourselves from them because otherwise, oh my, can they get in the middle of things and cause problems. So it's definitely a person or a group of persons we want to stay away from.
I think, I don't know, I've run across people like that, but my way to deal with it is usually just maybe give them a little wrong information, a little misinformation, just for fun. I mean, you get kind of playing their game that I don't know. I think, don't you run the risk though if you flat out say, "Hey, look, I got to tell you, you're sticking your nose way too far into business." Then they'll never talk to you ever again, and maybe it's a friend. But if you're a friend, then I guess they should take that advice, maybe.
Well, you may run into that, but if you get to that point, you're really dealing with somebody. There are people like this. they love to cause turmoil. They love to take statements and grow them and embellish them, and just cause turmoil. They're just people like that. They're people that like to get things going. A lot of times these are basically unhappy people or bored people, or just a lot of times people that just like to cause trouble. They don't have to be extremely horrible people, but they're people that just, they grow things. And, they're watching and they're listening and they're saying, did you know this? Or the person who you're dealing with your children and you're trying to teach them moral lessons or teaching them right from wrong, and all of a sudden you have the meddler coming in and saying, well, that's not how I deal with that. I'll tell you this, nobody'd ever do that with me. I'll tell you, here's what I'd be doing. And you get them, and they're there. It can be a coworker. Wow, did you see the way that Billy was talking there? Or did you see the way that Mary's always cajoling and trying to get her own way? And you run the danger if you say anything. All of a sudden, someone may come over to you and say, well, I hear you're complaining about the way that I'm dealing at work. And you say, well, I haven't said anything. And then all of a sudden you're remembering someone came and complained to you about that person, and you may have just put them off and said, well, it may be going on, and all of a sudden it turns into that you really did say something, that you were really complaining, okay? So these are just people to really keep an eye on, and we do run into them. Now, granted, some of them are just kind of busybodies and without really being evil, but there are others that like to cause trouble. They like to cause conflicts in families, in relationships.
But you only lose if you play their game, though. If you don't play the game, then they got nothing else they can do. Well, here's my question to you, though, on a psychological level. Where do these people come from? What makes them that way?
Well, a lot of them are bored, okay? A lot of them are know-it-alls, okay? And a lot of them, they enjoy, I guess, causing havoc, or they want to be involved in things. So they think if they're telling stories and extending stories and
got to be drama of some kind.
Well, there are people that like drama. Yeah, they kind of enjoy it. It kind of gets their blood moving, okay, if you will. So they're people a lot like this, and they're people like that really do have no lives. So unfortunately, they decide to spice it up a bit, if you will, by getting involved in other people's lives. And then there are the people that, when they know their issues, they want to mediate, of all things. And these are troublemakers, okay, or the meddlers, or they're the types that don't bring people together. And all of a sudden they say, come on, let's get together and talk. I know we can resolve this. Even though you're an idiot, Billy, or you deserve everything bad that happens to you, Mary. So they're alive and well. And they've always been around, and they're always going to be around. And like you say, the best defense is really not getting involved, not giving them information when they're trying to get you into things. And eventually, with some types, you do just have to say, hey, even if it does end the relationship, or generally end it as far as you can, if you do work with them or their family, you have to encounter, you have to work with to some degree. But you have to let them know, hey, this doesn't work. I'm tired of getting involved in these things. And if this is what you're going to do, and it seems to be your pattern, then you're toxic to me, and I'm not going to deal with it. There are times you really do have to do that, Mike.
Yeah, and it's probably for the better, really, in the long run. Dr. John Braccio, Dr. John Braccio, drjohnb.com on the web, Regional Psychological Services. Let's go forth and not meddle, people. Let's care, but not be the meddler. All right. Hey, Doc, it's always a pleasure. We'll chat again next Monday, huh?
Very good, my friend. Bye-bye.
Or Tuesday. Geez, next Tuesday. There you go.
Tuesday's fine.
See you later.
On our schedule, okay?
Yeah. All right, have a great week.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye.
1320 WILS.